Unintentional injuries, such as those caused by burns, drowning, falls, poisoning, and road traffic, are the leading cause of morbidity and mortality among children in the United States. Each year, among those 0 to 19 years of age, more than 12,000 people die from unintentional injuries, and more than 9.2 million are treated in emergency departments for non-fatal injuries. Hi, my name is Mary Bourne, and I'm a traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies with people for better health. Natural remedies have been used by people for centuries, even thousands of years. They have stayed with us because they work. Thank you for joining me today. The purpose of these particular videos is home health care procedures and solutions that I've done to resolve situations that could have led to hospital emergency rooms. We are being told to do what we can to keep out of the emergency room so that they are freed up to treat the coronavirus or COVID-19 concern. Today we are going to discuss burns and sunburn. First off, we want to know what level of burn you're dealing with. First and second degree burns will be our focus. All other burns need medical attention. So what degree? What does that mean, degree of burns? So this is a sample of the 3 degrees of burn. So first and second will be our focus today, but look at what has happened to the nerves in the 3rd degree burn. They're gone, so there's no pain. It has burned through the nerve fibers. So 3rd and 4th degree have no pain. Now the difference between the 3rd degree and the 4th degree is this black is totally through the cells, and you often will see bone, and it's very, very disrupting. So those are very, very dangerous, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've gotten off of some good websites. So if you're experiencing pain, then you have either a 1st degree or 2nd degree burn. And if you're doing 3rd or 4th, you need to seek medical attention ASAP. For full details on these type of burns or all types of burns, you can go to the Red Cross website, and they have a great manual that you can download. It's called the Red Cross Babysitter's Guide to Injuries. Hi, Cherie. And when I was young, I actually took a course in Red Cross and found it very, very helpful, gave me confidence in being able to treat certain things while I was waiting for 911 to respond. So you can download it onto your phone, your iPad, and then you have something very, very good to refer to. Please do not ask Alexa. I saw one person do that. It took 10 minutes, and finally at the end she said, call 911. You know, it's like people have gotten so used to the technologies that they've lost their common sense. So for serious burns, you want to stay with the person, remove them from the danger of further burns, put out where they got burned, or wrap them in a rug or something, depending on what happened, to stop the burn from progressing. And then you want to ask somebody else to call 911. If you're with somebody and you're all by yourself, then you're the one that has to call. But a better solution would be to call out for help, ask somebody else to call 911 while you're attending the person who has gotten burned. So the most recognized thing to do is to spray cool water on the burn to stop the burn from progressing and to calm down the inflammation. And I will go over some solution that I've created. You do not want to use cold water. Don't use water from the refrigerator. Don't use ice water. You want to use room temperature or tepid water because that you just want to calm it down. If you use too cold of water, you could actually throw that person into shock, and that would not be favorable. So some sites I looked into recommended using aloe. They recommended slicing the aloe, and it's like you need to act ASAP. You cannot be taking a leaf off of a plant, cutting it, and then using the gel. You need readily accessible tools that the sooner you act on something, the quicker it can heal. So the other thing that I read on some sites was to use Vaseline. Please do not use any kind of a ointment or Vaseline or butter on a burn because it holds the heat in and causes more damage. And then when 911 arrives, they've got to scrape all that off or wash it off, and it can be even more painful. So keeping the wound moist is recommended as this calms the inflammation down. I also like having some distress remedy on hand so that both you and the person injured can take some to help you stay centered and be able to think quickly and act on the injury and support that person's better health. So I thank you for all who are attending, and I'm sorry this is sideways. I will correct it for the recorded version. I don't know what goes on with that stupid Facebook and my phone. So I want to explain to you a spray that I particularly love. So I got this years ago at a dollar store. I bought about 6 of them, and I use them for all kinds of things. I spray my plants and all that. But what you want to do is fill it 1/3 full of purified water. Then the next third I use Silver Shield, and that's I will explain why I use that. And then final thing is aloe vera gel. Now this isn't the juice. This is concentrated gel that you want to fill the rest of it with. And you shake that up and you label it burn spray and you put it in your spice rack, because if you're the one attending the person, you want things that other people can find for you quickly. And so if you know they're in the spice rack, it's in a spray bottle, it's labeled burn spray. You can get that out quickly, and the other person can be attending you, even if it's a child. So the situation with the cool water is, say, for example, the house next door is on fire and you want to protect your home. So what you do is you hose down your home, and that keeps the fire from getting into your house. And so that's what you're doing with the cool water, so to speak. But it's far more effective to use something that's also a tissue healer and that can kill any bacteria that may be, that the wound will be susceptible to. So burn spray should be made ahead of time and label it. And so let's move on to the first and second degree burns. Now the second degree burn has blistering, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the first degree burn, you can see the nerve fibers. It's very painful. You can see the heat and inflammation that's going on. And so that's what we want to work on right now. So I want to tell you a little story. And some of these are my life experiences and what I've chosen to do, and you have to go within and figure out what you feel is the right thing to do in this case. Some people may just want to put their injury under running water, but what I'm telling you is that sometimes running water is not available, and you have to do what is available. So burns happen fast, instantly. So on this particular occasion, I was curling my hair, and I was using a curling iron that had a very short tip. I was used to a curling iron that had an inch long tip, and this thing only had a half an inch. So of course I grabbed the rod and not the tip, and this whole area was burnt from me grabbing the rod instead of the tip. And so I immediately went to my cosmetic bag and grabbed my lavender oil, and I tapped it onto the burn, and I started to rub. And I rubbed, as you can see, very fast. What I was trying to do was to get the heat out of the area. And for most people, they would be bored by now. They would stop rubbing. They would be, oh, this is enough or whatever. But no, it is not enough. You have to keep rubbing until you feel no more pain. And what you're doing is you're moving the injured tissue, the dead, dying tissue, out of the tissue space so that the lymphatic system can flow in with the white blood cells and all of the constituents in that white blood cells to help the healing process. And so it creates heat to kill any infectious organisms. It but once the heat is done its job, you want to get rid of it. So you want to get rid of the pain and injury. And I found too that lavender is a tissue healer. And so after about 5 minutes, I noticed the redness was going away, and it didn't seem to be as painful. I could feel it, but I was in a hurry. We were going to a conference, and so I finished my hair. And about a half hour later, I decided I'd put more on it because it was getting a little painful, so I put more on it. Went down, did the conference, broke for lunch, and I realized that, this was just a little pink. And so my friend who I was having lunch with said, what happened? And I said, well, I burned myself on a curling iron. And she said, oh my goodness. And I showed her what I did, because when we're at a health conference, everybody shares everything. And so I rubbed, and this time I only did it for a couple of minutes, and it was gone. That evening, I applied it again. The next morning, nothing. No redness, no pain, no blistering. And so it worked extremely well for me, just the lavender oil and rubbing. So now I want to tell you about another time where I pulled a pan out of the oven, and later on I went to grab the handle of it to tip it and get stuff, and I didn't realize that it was hot from the oven still. And so again, another burn. This time I took my burn spray, sprayed it, rub. Had dinner, and the heat started to come back. Sprayed, rub. No blisters. So from my experience, this process really, really works. In my experience, if I had put my hand under cold running water and waited 10 minutes, I'm sure I would have had blisters. So now this is first degree burn. This is like the burn with the sunburn, okay? And some sunburns can be second degree. But wouldn't it be wonderful to have this, spray it on a sunburn, rub until there was no more pain? You have to be patient and work with it until there is no pain. Now, I have had worked with a person who had a second degree sunburn where there was actual blistering that was occurring. And I sprayed, and instead of actually touching the skin, which they couldn't tolerate at the time, I actually did this, what's called light stroking. So you're above the skin and you're rubbing. I know it sounds weird, but it works. And you can try it if you want to. But it did dissipate that sunburn. That person was able to sleep through the night. The next morning we sprayed again. I was able to touch it. In fact, I was able to rub the aloe and lavender into the skin, and she never did blister. The skin got raised, but as I did the light, not touching, stroking, I could see those blisters go back down. It was an incredible experience, and I think that I was compelled to do these videos to tell you, because there's some information out there that I'm not sure whether it's because of Big Pharma or whatever, but to me it's political. Anyways, I wanted to share that with you. You can do this with skin niche, rug burns, any kind of burn that is first or second degree. The third degree burn, you need the hospital, you need 911, you need somebody to come and who knows what they're doing and take care of it. But if you can, spray the burn with the silver to kill any infections, because that tissue is open. There's no more defense. There's no more epidermis to stop that infection from coming into the body. So you want to be able to cool it down, keep the person happy or content and not going into shock. So I'm going to tell you, the U.S. Patent Office has patented silver for quite a few things. And this is direct from that website from the EPA. And if you'd like a link to it, please just email me or put a thing on the bottom, and I'll be happy to attach a link for that where you can get the full information on this. So here's what it says. Staphylococcus aureus can cause serious blood poisoning when it enters a wound. It once was easily treated with penicillin, but the organism has now mutated to the point where it is totally resistant to penicillin. The next step on the defense ladder is methicillin. But methicillin-resistant strains have become increasingly common, especially in hospitals. These strains are known as MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, and have been dubbed the superbug. People who contract MRSA can die in a matter of days. In the results reported in this example, a silver composition of the present invention, this means, all gobbledygook for a form of nanosilver of 14 parts per million, and this was found to kill 91.6% of the MRSA in just 10 minutes, and 99.5% in an hour. The results show the utility of silver compositions of the present invention is killing MRSA, a known infectious threat. The Environmental Protection Agency has approved a 32 parts per million silver composition of the present invention, which means nano, as a broad-spectrum surface disinfectant for those in hospitals, medical environments, residential homes, commercial buildings, and businesses. It has been approved for use against some of the most deadly pathogens, including gram-positive bacteria such as Staphylococcus aureus, presently considered to be the most deadly bacteria in U.S. hospitals, gram-negative bacteria such as Salmonella chlorotius, responsible for food poisoning, and nosocomial or hospital-acquired pathogens such as Pseudomonas aeruginosa, often found in burns and cuts. The solution I used was patented by the manufacturer to meet the standards in this patent. In fact, he's the one that applied for this patent. So, when I've employed these methods, they have worked for me. You need to decide what's best for you. And if you want to take your burn and put it underneath a running water, rub it, do what guides you. I feel that we have a healer within each one of us, and we need to listen to that healer. I prefer to call that healer God energy, and whatever you want to call it, it is there. We just need to learn some tools, be confident in those tools, and then share those tools. So I love the distress remedy. I feel like this should be in everybody's first aid kit. And there are, maybe you can add burn spray to your first aid kit. You want to have gauze in your first aid kit. There's just some things that you want to have on hand. And your first aid kit is not a first aid kit. I have first aid kits all over the place. I have a travel bag that I use. I had lavender in my cosmetic bag. Now I would use this. This is a roll-on with CBD and lavender. And CBD helps to balance the body. And so when you have a tissue injury, it's there helping to support the immune system, getting the immune system more effective. It's there to help the nervous system. It's there to help tissue healing. And so it's a wonderful topical. So it's a roll-on. My preferred is Kemp because I know the Sunshine doesn't do anything unless they've studied it immensely. Thank you for all the hearts. It's so encouraging. I appreciate that so much. So I've actually made a spray in the bathroom that I call Boo Boo Spray, and it has 1/3 purified water, 1/3 aloe vera gel, 1/3 silver, and it has the tea tree in it because tea tree is antimicrobial as well. So you want to cover the wound with a sterile gauze. You want to make sure that, I want to talk about the gauze for a minute, because if you put a dry gauze on an oozing wound and then that dries up, that stickiness will adhere to the gauze. Now, most websites say Vaseline. Okay, now how can they name Vaseline, which is a name brand product, for a particular injury type thing and still get away with it? Whereas I can't say use silver gel instead because then I'm promoting an individual. It makes no sense to me that these people can still say what they have to say, but me as a naturopathic doctor can't mention what's worked best for me. Maybe it's big pharma, maybe it's big oil, I don't know. But anyway, it's not for your best interest. Vaseline is a hormone disrupting petrochemical. Do not ever put it on your skin to absorb it into your body. So, you can email me, drmary@bornforhealth.com, if you have specific things you want to discuss. Otherwise, comment and share. Other people may be interested in what you have to ask, and then they'll get their answer as well. So I thank you for watching today, because this is a really important thing. We are trying to keep the hospitals dealing with the COVID situation and not being overwhelmed with things like burns. Now, we know they're serious to us. We know now that 3rd and 4th degree, yes, 911, get them off to somebody who knows what they're doing. Burn care is really, really important at the earliest stages. And 1st and 2nd degree burns, now you have some tools of what you can do to get that healing. Go to the Red Cross website, download that website, the Babysitter's Guide. It is very informative, not just about burns. It has all kinds of things. And then it talks about other burns, like chemical burns, and what you would do and what best to take care of. Just then come back and see what herbally you can do to assist in the healing process that the body has within it. So take those classes online. You've got time now. Do it constructively. If you want what to have in a first aid kit, I have this wonderful little flyer. Just send me a stamped self-addressed envelope and I will send it off to you, and then you can know what to put in your first aid kit, and it will be things that benefit you as far as natural healing goes. So keep focusing on gratitude, be thankful for people and the gifts of natures, the flowers that are popping up everywhere, and all the joy around you. Thank you for viewing. Until next time, this is Dr. Mary for the Health of It.